Hey everybody, I hope you're having a great start to your week. This is Garrett McLaughlin. In the video today for the exercise of the week, I want to cover what's called the Offset Romanian Deadlift. So I've shown multiple times before just a traditional Romanian deadlift or hip hinge type movement. What this exercise today is going to do is put the feet in a slight offset position so we can actually load that front hamstring in particular in a slightly lengthened position. So if you're incorporating, again, a lot of hills, speed work, or you're someone that suffers from hamstring tightness, hamstring stiffness after a run or some type of speed workout, this is a great exercise to progress up to. Now, I say progress up to for a reason, because we want to make sure we're doing things like our long lever bridges, our hip bridges, our traditional Romanian deadlift type exercises first, and then this is a progression of all of those things. We want to make sure we don't rush into this and make sure we have proper form and technique first. So just to show this without any resistance first, and I'll show you from the side, what's important to realize is we want the feet to be in the slight offset position. So we're just imagining this is a line on the floor. I'm going to put the toe on one end of the line. I'm going to put the heel on that same line here. So you can see I'm in this offset position, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. What this does automatically, just standing here in this position, you're not going to feel it because we're not hinging yet, but this front hamstring's already starting in a slightly lengthened position. So as we hinge from the hips, we're hinging down, again, butt back, body falls forward with a nice flat spine into a position where this right here, that front leg hamstring, has to really lengthen and eccentrically control my pelvis as I hinge down. So really good from a flexibility and stiffness standpoint to work on strengthening, but also controlling and lengthening throughout that entire range of motion. So just to show you a couple bodyweight reps, and I'll switch my legs around just so you can see the closest side. I'm on that line across, small bend in the knees. My front shin is close to vertical. That's one thing that's super important. I see a lot of people on this one sitting back into that position, they're straightening the knee. We want to still keep a slight bend in the knee, and that really isolates right through the bulk of the hamstring belly. So from here, I'm tall, exhale, rib cage down, core is engaged, continuing to breathe freely, small bend in the knees. My front shin is vertical as I'm hinging at the hips, stopping just before parallel. So you can see I'm slightly angled up. I'm not getting too low down to that point, overstretching the hamstring just to about to parallel here, driving the hips forward to stand. So it's not a spine or lower back movement. I'm not throwing and extending into the spine. All this is engaged and tight, rib cage down, core engaged, stabilizing through the canister here, and I'm hinging at the hips. As I come down, drive the hips forward to come forward. So we're getting our glute strength, but we're adding in that extra kind of hamstring lengthening here as we go down, since I'm set up in this offset position, so you really feel it through that front leg. So what I would do on this one, I usually start people and progress them a couple different ways. We can do the 1 dumbbell version or the 2 dumbbell version. I always start with the single dumbbell, just because it's a good simple way to start. So if I'm in that offset position, my left leg is forward, my right hand is holding that dumbbell, as you can see here. All this is going to do is just fill in that space right next to my other leg. So coming down, hinge, good posture through the shoulder, drive forward. Again, very simple way to introduce this movement. Okay, just to see from the side here. Hinge, drive forward. Then, once again, I want to increase more load or really load into that, build up some tolerance, maybe over anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks doing the single dumbbell version. I can go ahead and add a second dumbbell. So a little bit harder now because the leg is in the way a little bit. Not going to change anything in terms of my form. I'm still going to be kind of in this position, but you can see I'm almost like this one is right in front of the shin, this one is in front or next to the leg. So I'm in a slightly different position from side to side, but obviously that will balance out as you do the other side. And really just taking note, do you see any difference from side to side? Some people, again, we need to make sure our form is exact side to side, so we're not more steep on our shin on this side, or more vertical here, because that will mean, okay, that right side hamstring is probably going to feel tighter. But see, do you have any differences or lack of flexibility on one versus the other? If you do, that would be one that you then address with an additional set. So I always recommend on this one, anywhere from 2 to 4 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions per side is usually good, and then adding an additional set on that weaker or tighter side. So that is the Offset Romanian Deadlift. Again, add this into your program, try it out. do those progression exercises first. Hip bridge, long lever bridge, single leg versions, traditional Romanian deadlifts, and then get here because this is a fantastic exercise to help really build strength and resilience throughout the hamstring in that lengthened position. Because as we know, as you push off and that leg comes forward, this hamstring at this point starts to lengthen throughout the hip. That leg, knee starts to come out as we're getting ready for foot strike. So we're lengthening at the hip and the knee simultaneously. That's where eccentric hamstring strength comes in to really build that resilience and not just strength, right? The ability to be strong as that muscle and muscle group is eccentrically lengthening away right before foot strike, which where most people are running into issues there, overstriding, progressing the speed work too quickly, adding a lot of hills, not having that eccentric strength at the hamstring. Hope you enjoyed this video today. Do me a favor, drop a comment or some feedback below. Let me know if you tried this exercise before. If you have any questions, I'd love to chat with you about them. Have a great rest of your week. Thanks, guys.